Alright, so welcome to Blancos, and today we're going to be discussing the history of barbering. One thing that I do like to do is get straight to what we're doing, and what we're doing today is going over the main topics of the history and the evolution, basically breaking it down from the Egyptians to the Romans to the Italians, to the Spaniards, and then to us, of course. But since I'd like to go right through and handle business, I'm gonna be operating out of milady 6th generation, this is the exam review. So what I'll be doing is going and finding the questions that the state board is now using to put into their exam. The way PSI works is basically they're a company with profits in making you fail. So they have over, I want to say over 1,000 terms to trick you with. So that being said, if they have 1,000 terms to 2,000 terms to be able to make different tests with, how many test forms do you think they have? They have a whole bunch. Everybody's in the business of making money. So what that means is that there is a whole bunch of different forms. At first, we used to think it was chapter 4, chapter 7, chapter 11, 12, 13, and then of course some 17, some 18. But I no longer believe that. I believe that the economy's gotten tighter, so PSI has actually gotten tighter as well. And the more they make you fail, the more money they make. Because every 24 hours you can reschedule to take it, which if you do fail the first time, I do recommend you retake it immediately so that the answers or the questions that were questionable to you are fresh in your mind, and you can go and more than likely have a better chance. Even if it's up to 3 times in a row. I've seen it done. Not that I've done it, because I passed it the first time, but I probably went at a time where PSI wasn't so money hungry. So, that being said, I'm gonna start off with my lady. I will be translating into Spanish. I'll be in and out, so be patient with me and be understanding and considerate of others. So, chapter 1, which is the history of barbering, is based on, we'll be discussing the evolution. We'll be discussing how barbers were surgeons, and how the barber pole goes from meaning a series of things throughout time. We're going to identify the organizations for being responsible for the barbering profession, and as well as the wealth opportunities in the 21st century. And this is all on your page 5 of your milady 6th generation, which is every school should be operating on anyway. I usually get a little nervous, alright guys? So I'll be sweating a little bit, but however, we're gonna flip to page 6. I'm gonna read a little bit on the introduction. Barbering is one of the oldest professions in the world, whether from a sense of aesthetics or because of religious conviction. Virtually all early cultures practiced some form of beautification and adornment given to archaeological evidence found it painted in pottery, early sculptures, and burial mounds. As civilization advanced, so did barbering professions, developing from its beginning as cultural and tribal necessity to the art from its art form it is today. So basically, obviously, as you can tell on the back of my wall, times change. We love different things. We're artistic animals, and with that being said, the haircuts have evolved. Les estaba explicando que en este capítulo va a ser la historia de los barberos y cómo han llegado a donde estamos ahora. Vamos a cubrir las líneas de lo que es las líneas de los colores del palo de los barberos, y luego también vamos a hablar de cómo se pasó de los de Egipto a los de Roma, a Italia, a España y luego hasta ahorita donde estamos nosotros, porque desde los tiempos de que comenzamos el corte de pelo ha sido una forma de arte en cómo expresarnos y cómo nos vemos. Entonces eso es lo que vamos a cubrir en este capítulo, pero más importante es que vamos a cubrir lo que nos pueden preguntar en el centro de PSI, que viene siendo donde nos hacen los exámenes. So, este libro también lo hacen en español. So this book is in Spanish as well. Today I don't have my Spanish one, so Spanish, I apologize. But we're gonna open it up and we're gonna see if we can find them and see what kind of order PSI is using to collab, because PSI has to use the latest version of milady to make their exam. So whatever multiple choices are here, whatever the question is here, they can only wordplay it so much, and this is it's based out of this book. So make sure you study this book. The sixth generation of milady consists of 21 chapters. El libro de la sexta generación de milady consiste de 21 capítulos. So, vamos a hacer un buen rato aquí, pero le vamos a ver para adelante. So, archaeological studies have shown that simple implements were made to cut hair using blank, blank, and blank. So, there it is. So typically what most of all these tests do is whatever is bold on your book, that's usually what's going to be a question, you know, and we've known that since high school, since middle school. So make sure that at the same time, guess what, you're making some flashcards. So have some flashcards and be making anything that's bold, make it into a flashcard. So todo lo que esté marcado en letras gruesas o bold, lo que les digo, o sea, que están más gruesas, marcadas, que se resaltan más en la página, lo más seguro es que lo pueden usar para hacerlo parte de la prueba. So, entonces tenemos que usar las notas y hacer flashcards. So, lo que vamos a hacer es como lo de este libro. Las mismas multiple choices que me da, las vamos a apuntar aquí y vamos a apuntar la respuesta correcta y la pregunta, para que así no tengamos problemas cuando estemos estudiando nuestras flashcards. So basically, we're going to write down the multiple choices and the question so that when it's time to study your flashcards, then you have accurate information. That's probably the biggest thing. I think the biggest mistake most students make is leaving studying for the last minute. And in part, most schools are at fault as well because we don't push as hard as we probably could or should. But the whole thing is, you got to do your part too. You know, you can't just assume that your teacher is going to push you and push you and push you. They have a life as well. So that's why I'm taking the further step to do these videos so that you can go and watch it whenever you feel like it. It doesn't mean take it for granted right now. So make sure you pull out your notes now and your pencil and start taking notes. You know, simple as that. So you're paying to come learn, so make sure you learn. So let's go over the first question. Was the archaeological study shown simple implements? So implements is tools, all right? So that's number one. Number two is many primitive cultures had belief system that elevated tribal barbers to position importance. One such position was a blank. So I'm just reading off of here first. And that way, when I begin to read, I can actually point them out. So make sure when you go on Amazon and order your books, you get the triples. So you're gonna get your hard copy, you're gonna get your exam review, and you're gonna get a student workbook. Okay, student workbook, not necessarily necessary, you know, just because the simple fact that if you actually read it and you answer the questions in the back of it and you go through the exam review as I'm teaching you, then you should have no problem passing. Now, if you're lazy and you feel, or you're a little slower, then maybe if you're lazy, you're not gonna do that either. So what you're gonna end up doing is taking the test about 3-4 times. I've even known people take it 8 times. So don't take it 8 times, all right? Make sure that you're paying attention as we go. So remember, we're gonna be making flashcards. So be writing these down. The first 5, write them down into a flashcard.